Hey, this is Joe from HomeStudioCorner.com. Do you set deadlines for yourself when you work on projects in your studio? If you don't, you need to, okay? I'm guilty of not doing this very well myself. Just recently, I had some projects for clients that I needed to be working on, and I just kind of assumed I would get around to working on them when I felt like it, and suddenly it had been a month and I hadn't worked on their project. That's not good. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that. I probably shouldn't admit that. But the problem was I hadn't set a deadline. It was this nebulous, is that the right word? It was this kind of vague, sometime in the future I'm going to work on this. And as it turns out, that time never really came because I didn't define it. So when you agree to a project, whether it's to mix a song for one of my online classes that I do, or whether it's working for a client, or you need to track a guitar for one of your songs, put a date on it. It's not real if it doesn't have a date, okay? If you don't know when the next time you're going to be in your studio, well, you should. Get the calendar out and find out when that block of time is that you can devote an hour to working in your studio, and then name that hour. Say, this hour, I'm going to do this. That's going to do two things. First, it's going to make sure it gets done. And secondly, it's going to make sure when you do have that hour available to work in the studio, you're going to work on something that matters and not just fiddle around rearranging your plugins or updating all your software or doing stuff that really doesn't matter. So if you're committed to do something and you actually do want to do it, okay, you are committed, it's something you're gonna do, it needs to have a date. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. You might as well throw it into your someday folder because it's probably not gonna happen anyway, okay? Set a deadline, put a date on it, and makes your brain start working on ways to figure out how to get it done by the time that date rolls around.